THQ.
Ever since the internet's inception, there's been no shortage of strange, unexplained occurrences. The age of information brought to us digital urban legends. While some remain unexplained until today, most are regarded as purely fictional for the express purpose of entertainment. And it's fun to see different artists and creators attempt to blur the line between fact and fiction by emulating this idea of unsourced content. I'm someone who personally certainly finds a distinct enjoyment in actively seeking out this type of content. The culture of finding and discussing strange online phenomena is a pastime I've been familiar with for well over a decade, coming across some of the best and the worst. About 90% of the time nowadays, however, a lot of these projects fall rather flat. They're either too amateurish for me to let myself enjoy it, or they're simply unoriginal derivative works trying to look like more successful projects, like Marble Hornets. I'm gonna level with you guys. I'm extremely picky. I'm picky with my food, my clothes, my videos, and most importantly, the content I watch. When I like something, it's usually because I think it's damn good, or because it makes me feel damn good. I say this because I've been holding a certain topic inside me for a long time now, and I've been absolutely dying to talk about it since the moment I laid eyes on it, because I knew that I had finally found something I had only really found a select few times in my life before. Something that spoke to my soul directly and tapped into a deeper desire for something truly different. Petscop. When I say that Petscop is the web series that I've waited my entire life for. I know that sounds intense or dramatic from the outside in, but I mean it. I really do. Petscop does what every other video game, creepypasta, story, or series otherwise could only dream of. To get us all on the same page, Petscop is the name of a fictional, unreleased PlayStation video game that is the center of an ongoing supernatural horror mystery video series, which itself is called Petscop. This series consists entirely and solely of recorded gameplay from within this game. And as the series goes on, things begin to both escalate and go tumbling downhill. Talk about a fucking rabbit hole. I really do not want to spoil this series for you. So I'll be light on some of the later bits and avoid talking too much about the story directly. At any rate, my number one favorite part of Petscop comes from the actual production itself. Let's talk aesthetics. The main reason that Petscop touches my heart so is how it's designed. Whoever is creating this series knows exactly just what the fuck they're doing. Petscop, as everyone knows, is not a real game, which is exactly why this whole thing is just fucking bonkers. Where other fake video game series have popped up, mostly inspired by the olden video game scary tales, Petscop takes its own production to the next level. They haven't modded an existing game, they fucking made a fake game. The creator of Petscop has crafted completely original assets in order to make a fake game for the sole purpose of recording it for an online web series. The attention and straight dedication to detail in Petscop's presentation feels so authentic that it rattles me. It looks and feels and sounds like a real game that I would have played as a kid. Across the entire board, Petscop nails its own supposed time period. I believe this presentation makes it so much more unsettling than any other horror-based web series that I've ever seen. The player character, the environments, the textures, the music and HUD, just everything feels and looks like it would fit snugly in the PlayStation's library. Oh, that's not enough for you? Well, how about the fact that the creator made it a point to not upload this in HD? He literally made assets and painstakingly added shaders to this completely original game only to run it through a composite signal. I don't think I'd be able to go through all that effort just to compress it. And it certainly isn't a measure that everyone takes when trying to get this level of authenticity. The video compression adds an unprecedented amount of believability. It not only appears to be properly rendered at native 240p, but the creator has even included flickering and interlacing. The cute little kitschy characters perfectly speak to some of the weirder Japanese-developed PS1 games. I somehow especially feel this with how the protagonist is a 2D sprite against a fully rendered 3D background. Walking cycles, animations throughout the world, and even features in the pause menu. The fact that this is an actual game engine means it's clear that these are completely real inputs from someone using a controller, as opposed to animating the entire thing and having it look much less believable and robotic. The effort behind Petscop is immeasurable. It's legendary. I mean, Jesus Christ. Even the production logo for the fictional company feels like one of those old, forgotten developers that never made it to the PS2. What Petscop has going for it that no one else has done after all this time is grounding itself in reality. Petscop's main hook comes from its initial bait and switch, where the setting changes from a cute little kids game to this much more hollow, gritty, and unsettling realistic nightmare. This alone was enough to bring me back to seeing Resident Evil and Silent Hill as a kid and watching older kids play it. Something about the darker colors and the grainy textures of the grass and rock conveyed an instant feeling of dread then, and have only just been revived now. I had completely forgotten all about those memories until watching Petscop. It's almost symbolic in a way. I was a kid used to these bright colors and playful characters, so it was pretty jarring when I was exposed to the more adult side of the PlayStation's library. I kind of felt like the Petscop kid here. Actually, that's probably why Petscop is so fucking eerie. Petscop does horror right. And that statement only scratches the surface. There is not a single jump scare or cheap scare tactic in a single one of these videos. Petscop relies on moments of intense anxiety and ambient fear. It isn't so much, whoa, that just happened. It's always, oh my god, something's gonna happen. Or, oh my god, I can't tell what's happening. All of the fears I ever had when playing M-rated games from the PlayStation are pretty much realized vicariously in this series. Fear that something abstract might happen when I'm not expecting it. There's always tiny little jingles and sounds that play and you don't know why, and it sucks because you wonder what the fuck that could possibly mean. Or the character will walk through a long dark corridor with very little illumination and you wonder what he'll find at the end of the tunnel or some shit. Petscop is just truly filled to the brim with a bunch of seriously well done moments of discovery, world building, fear, and mystery. All of the weird things that happen in Petscop only barely feel scripted. Even the most unsettling parts of Petscop still retain a sense of intention to really hammer it in that someone made it and spent time with it. The reason why this is also insanely important, and as a demonstration of the genius behind this series, is how Petscop handles tropes. If you ask me, before Petscop, the last big standard set for this genre was Ben Drowned, a Majora's Mask ARG which famously featured videos from a haunted cartridge. The creator of Ben Drowned brought his creepypastas to life by being the first person to actually have video evidence of his ridiculous claims, instantly turning his post from just another corny internet story to a surreal standout incident that felt grounded. Now in that series, the idea is that something was wrong with the cartridge. It was haunted. That idea wasn't exactly new. At that point, it had become a bit of a meme for a story to include a cartridge from an unknown seller that acted strange. Enter Petscop, where all of that has changed. One of the scariest, most spine-chilling concepts behind Petscop is that all of the fucked up weird things happening in the game aren't the result of a haunting, but rather that it was all put there intentionally by someone. In the deepest, darkest parts of Petscop, there's polish, and that's frightening. We're off the bat led to assume that the initial area of the real game is unfinished, and that the following events are probably just something extra put in by a potentially disgruntled employee. The gruesome truth that we quickly discover is that the underworld of Petscop is the real game, and it runs deeper than anyone could probably imagine. You see, that's fucking horrifying, because that puts several events in Petscop up for debate. Is the player protagonist truly alone? It's hard to discern what may be scripted or what may not be, or what is even supposed to be happening at any given time. At some point, it's said that our protagonist starts a new save file and tries to recreate the recorded events to no avail.
Because I created a new file, and I tried to be scientific about it. I went and did all the same things that I did this time, and the same things did not happen. None of the things happened. None of the oddities occurred. Like the thing in the mirror room, for example. So there's a bit of randomness in it, and it's interesting how it doesn't seem to really care if you see everything, I guess.
Even messier when this extends to the real-world side of the story. There are several layers to Petscop that all interact with each other. This is nothing new. Ben Drowned's protagonist would have dreams relating to the game as written in posts alongside those videos. And later on in that ARG, we would see an entire fake website dedicated to its story. However, there's a common annoyance I have with all of these stories, including Marble Hornets, that has always bugged me. The main characters will add as much commentary as possible without directly talking about what's going on. Petscop switches this up entirely by having its protagonist not just to be skeptical, but reasonably skeptical without shying away from the obviously surreal circumstances.
This game is trying very hard to make it seem like there's an entity in it. Like a ghost.
Paul, the man behind these recordings, acts as a conduit for the audience by playing the game and being the voice guiding us through what's going on. Paul's performance is what separates this character from every other creepypasta protagonist out there. He's treating this exactly like one of us would.
This fucking game.
It's just a game that does weird stuff.
What the fuck?
At some point, he comes to the conclusion that the game is being programmed to feel like it's haunted.
Like I leave my PlayStation and it comes out and does this whole pre-recorded thing.
A decision that I think brings me as a viewer closer to Paul. Not just because he's a regular person, but he's speaking from a point of view that is familiar with all of the culture that this series is appealing to. When something weird happens, Paul doesn't just stay quiet, he's just as surprised as you are.
What?
He even makes decisions throughout the series based on things that we can witness ourselves. It feels as if Paul is truly right there with us on our side, and it makes it feel like Petscop as a game has a mind of its own. Petscop is overwhelmingly refreshing because it presents an opportunity. The potential this series has is endless. A pretty dark potential, too. Petscop's lore is dark. Whatever it may actually be exactly. Again, Petscop is ongoing as of this video, so no one has all the details, and the details we do have are often polarizing and are interpreted to mean completely different things. There are several schools of thoughts, multiple overarching theories, and lots of speculation. This makes Petscop's story particularly interesting because it's a story that is not only hidden behind really complex metaphors and symbols, but it's all conveyed through the lens of a very simplistic PlayStation game. The juxtaposition of such dark themes being hidden behind the cover of a retro time waster is not only a fantastic creative decision, but some would argue that it's probably the entire point, canonically, behind Petscop's supposed development. Is Petscop truly haunted, or is there some sort of dark message that someone was leaving behind? Is Paul actually connected to the names hidden within the game? Is Petscop hiding the account of real events? Who wrote the note that came with it? I'll just tell you that it's never a bad time to catch up and join the discussion. Going through all the different theories and shit on the Petscop subreddit allows me to catch things in these videos that I would have never even noticed. The theories surrounding Petscop's convoluted connections fly around the room every time a video drops. Petscop's videos are almost never filler either, providing both clarity and further mystification. Petscop is very much one step forward, 3 steps back in how it will rise unclear information to the viewer and then meet it with even more unclear information. It's almost to the same effect as when Paul is talking to Tool. Petscop is finally doing this genre some justice and showing the true potential of this niche by slowly chiseling and carving out the details of an as of yet unclear sculpture. Consistently expect the same level of quality for each upload, and it will no doubt spark yet another riveting conversation in the comments or the subreddit. The community that has formed around this series generated just as much energy for me as the videos do. Watching ideas bounce back and forth after each video is truly an experience that hits me in the chest. Being a young kid on the internet and wanting to be a part of a community or fan base or something supremely niche was something that I held close to me dearly. Going on forums dedicated to something like the Ben Drowned series was generally what I dedicated a lot of time to. Something that invoked a passion to reach out to other people who were just as excited about this thing as you were. Sometimes even more so. Up until now, I had accepted that something like that was a thing of the past. I'm happy to say that I was wrong. Someone somewhere still believes in creating true to the core mystery, creating the truly preposterous. I mean, could you imagine? In this age, nearly everything gets exposed, right? At some point, people know your real name, or what you look like, what games you play, what websites you use. To think that there's a channel this big that's completely opaque, completely undocumented, no trace of who's talking or who's uploading. Not knowing who's behind the keyboard. I mean, for a second there, I almost really believed that there was really an unfinished prototype game out there that begged players to both turn it off and keep it on. It's very, very well put together. I mean, it's clearly not real, right?